DiMaggio with the Pitt Community College English as a Second Language program. Today we're going to talk about recycling, and we have an array of recycled materials. Joining us is Paula Clark, who is the coordinator for Pitt County Recycling.
Correct.
Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So first of all, of course, recycling is supposed to help our environment. So in what ways does it do that?
Well, I like to think that recycling does help our environment. It saves our natural resources, and of course it saves our landfill space, and it creates jobs right here in Pitt County.
Okay, so can anyone recycle, or?
Anyone can recycle, and it's an easy process, and we want to make it easy and accessible to everyone in Pitt County. It is a volunteer program in Pitt County, and we encourage everyone to recycle.
Now, you're representing the county, so within the city limits of Greenville, they have a recycling pickup program. How about out in the county?
Right. If you live inside the city limits of Greenville, then you will be a curbside customer. And the city of Greenville comes by in the neighborhoods and picks up the bins on curbside. That's if you're inside a city limit or municipality that recycles. If you live outside the city limits, then you can visit any one of our 14 county collection sites and drop off your materials there to be recycled.
Okay, and when we need to know where these recycling sites are, collection sites, is there a web page to go to? How do we find out about?
There is a web page. You can go to Pitt County Government, and this brochure is downloaded on that website, or you can call our office at 902-3353, and I'll be glad to mail you out a brochure.
Great. Now, if I just move to the States and I don't speak English very well, is there somebody who can help me with interpreting or that kind of thing?
We would encourage you to bring someone with you that spoke English and to help you through that process.
And I understand you have attendants at all of the drop-off sites?
Right. All 14 sites, we do have an attendant there. He's on site at all times when the facility's opened. If you are going on site to use it and to drop off a material, not sure where it goes, please ask the attendant. He will assist you with that. And if you need help with your materials that you're bringing on site, he'll also help you with that.
Okay, let's say I think it's a great idea, I want to do it. What do I recycle?
Well, there's an array of materials that you can recycle in Pitt County. This brochure lists all the recyclables that we collect on our site, and it's collected in Pitt County. We have containers on site that collects household commingled material, which would be like your glass bottles, your plastic bottles, your newspaper, your cardboard, magazines, tin and steel cans, aluminum cans. That's all household products that we recycle. We also have containers on site that collects materials like electronics for recycling. We have eyeglass boxes on site that collect prescription eyewear for recycling. We have a metals box on site that collects materials that is mainly made of metal, like washing machines, dryers, microwaves. Those are our metals that can be recycled. We have 2 of our sites that collect oyster shells for recycling. We also collect some automotive products for recycling. Used motor oil and cooking oil is 2 liquids that we take for recycling.
So, for example, if I'm going to fry a big turkey and I got all this oil left afterwards.
Please take it to one of our sites. There will be a 55-gallon drum there that collects that. And actually that program, we're partnering with Pitt County Schools. The funds that are generated by selling that cooking oil, they turn it into a biodiesel fuel, and the profits they get off of that cooking oil, a portion of it's going to Pitt County Schools.
How about that? Sounds good. So what happens after I drop it off? You have a bunch of examples here of
well, all our
that it gets turned into.
all our recyclables, it comes in commingled because we don't ask you to separate either at the curbside bin or at our collection sites. It'll go to one spot here in Greenville. It's called Eastern Carolina Vocational Center. We call it ECVC for short. That's our materials recovery facility. When it gets to ECVC, what they'll do for us is sort it all out. They'll sort out all the tin and steel cans, all the aluminum cans, all the plastic, all the number 2 plastics, until they get it all sorted out. Then they'll send it through a baler, and the baler will bale it into huge bales of that material. Then they will market that material for us. They may be selling those aluminum cans back to a beverage company that may turn it back into more aluminum cans.
This is a bale, right?
Yes. Well, that's a very small bale.
Small bale.
The actual bale size is about the size of 4 refrigerators put together.
Wow.
This is just a mini bale I bring out for examples. But they sort it for us, they bale it for us, and they market it for us.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the things we have here.
Well, once it gets marketed, then it's up to whomever they sell it to recycle it into a new product. Now what you picked up there is recycled glass bottles and jars. Just like the old mayonnaise jar I've got it stored in. These jars can be recycled, ground into this really fine material, which is glass, and the highway department uses tons and tons of this material. They put it in the yellow and white lines that line our roads, and so at night when you're riding down the roads and the headlights hit this glass, this recycled glass, that's what gives that paint that reflective ability.
Amazing. And I assume it's safe in this form. You know, when you break a glass, you get little slivers. You might get it in your finger, but
it is. It won't cut you in this material, but I keep it enclosed because it is small granulars, and if you got it in your eye, it could scratch your eye, just for safety purposes. But it won't cut you to the touch.
What is this?
That is recycled newspaper, and it's been recycled into kitty litter. Recycled newspaper can also be recycled into a form of insulation. You're used to seeing that pink stuff in between your walls and in your attic? Well, that's made out of a fiberglass. This insulation is made out of old recycled newspaper, and it's blown in between the walls and in the attic.
Does it have the same grade as the pink stuff?
It does. It's just as good, if not better.
What's this?
This is chopped up tires, old tires that have been recycled, and now they use it for mulch. They've just dyed it into a commercial color, and they use it for mulch.
Amazing. So many different things. And let's pick one more here.
That's also recycled glass. All your marbles and your glass pebbles you see out in the market now are all made from recycling old glass bottles and jars.
And they're beautiful. Okay, now, let's say I want to do this and I want to take the first step. Is there a phone number that I can contact you or someone that can help me?
If you're just moving into the area, please contact us at 902-3353. Again, we'll be glad to mail out the information to you of how to use our sites, where they're located, and the hours of operation. If you're moving and you're inside the city limits of Greenville, you can call 329-5422. And you can get in touch with Cheryl Tafoya. She's the city coordinator, and she'll be glad to hook you up with the curbside program.
And we did talk a little bit about, before we started taping, the fact that you can take yard waste too. Not necessarily as compost, but there is a way to recycle it.
Right. All the yard waste in Pitt County, and we collect it on our 14 county collection sites as well, will come in like your leaves or trees that have been cut down, bushes that have been landscaped. This material will come in, we'll grind it up. We do about 4 grinds a year, and then it comes out to be a real thick type of mulch. And that mulch is available to the general public. They can come in and get it. It's $5 for 3 cubic yards, but the bulk of it is shipped out to be used as a boiler fuel.
Okay, so let's say I'm going to recycle something like this. Now my husband and I always argue about how well you have to clean the thing, because I like to wash it and not leave a bunch of goo inside of the recyclables, but do we have to do that?
You do not have to do that. That's up to the customer. How do you want to recycle it? If you want to put it in your bin with some residue in there, that's fine. That's not a contamination for us. A lot of people like to clean it out to keep the varmints down, the ants or the bees down, while they're storing it before they bring it to our facility to be recycled.
This looks like a Halloween spider web, but really it's not.
Really it's not. Really what it is recycled plastic bottles. This is your #1 plastic bottle, which we recycle. And then what happens is when it gets time to recycle it, they will chip it up into these small flake-like plastic. And then it's spun into this material, which is a form of polyester. And then that form of polyester is what made the carpeting and this t-shirt.
How about that?
And if I recycled 5 of these plastic bottles, I'd have enough to make that t-shirt.
Wow. Cool. Thank you for being with us, Paula Clark, with the Pitt County Recycling Program. And remember to reduce, reuse, and recycle. I'm Gloria Maggio for Pitt Community College English as a Second Language Program.